Right now, I'm going to talk a little bit about what judges are looking for. You have all been given rubrics of the guidelines and the points that are awarded in each category, but I want to talk a little bit more in depth about those rubrics and really what judges are looking for. It's crucial that you read, then read again, then reread the rubrics. I've seen situations where people have not understood the rules and the judges are not quite as happy and the scores aren't what they should be. So it's very important you understand what they're looking for. Sometimes personal taste, personal bias among the judges is present. They're chefs, they're culinary people, they know what they're looking for. So when they're new to judging, a lot of times they will follow that rubric exactly. So you've got to know and follow it as well. At times you'll have new judges that have never judged any type of competition before. So you have to score the points where you know you can get them and hope that your food comes across in a good manner. So we're going to talk about the rubric here just a little bit, and it's kind of broken down into two parts. Your back of the house or in the kitchen, and then your front of the house. So we know we're going to be making for our plate a protein with a sauce, some type of a starch, a vegetable, and a garnish. You're going to be judged, as I said, in two different ways, two different categories, if you will, back of the house and then front of the house. Safety and sanitation and food production are the first two arenas you're going to be judged on in the back of the house, and they're about 49% of your score. These are points that you should always do well on. They're easy to obtain. First and foremost, keep safe. Keep your area clean and sanitary. Follow proper mise en place, organization. Use proper cooking methods. Use your thermometer. Keep your sanitizer bucket at hand. Keep your towel in your sanitizer bucket. These are the things the judge is going to be looking for, just like a Board of Health inspector would be looking for in a lot of ways. You want to make sure you use proper cooking methods. If something in that recipe says saute, make sure that you're actually sauteing. Really high heat, small amount of fat, means to jump in French. If something says braise, make sure that we're braising. Make sure you follow the directions in the recipes. You can take creative license with your plating, of course, but make sure you do as you're asked. Now, once you present the food to your judges, they're going to be looking at a couple things. They're going to be looking at plating, presentation. Is it an attractive plate? Are the portions the right size? Are you using a good functional garnish? Are the plates clean? I've seen too many competitions where those are not adhered to. Remember, your protein should be the largest thing on the plate. If someone orders a chicken dish or a steak dish, they don't want more green beans on the plate than steak. So plan your plating out. Plan how you're going to plate and practice on that. Taste, texture, and seasoning are also very important. Once again, judges have kind of something that they're usually looking for, so make sure you season properly. Make sure that your plating is different. Make sure that you have a tasty garnish. All those things. Make it a picture. As we've said before, people eat with their eyes first, so you want your plate to really wow people when you set it down. Use contrasting colors. Use what I even call visual texture. Things that you know are going to have a different snap to them, or might, because of the height on the plate, they're standing up, I can tell they're going to be crisp. Use height on the plate. Make sure that you've got something that's not just laying flat. Make sure that you have a good mouthfeel. And what we mean by that is we've got some oil, we've got some butter, we've got some olive oil, something to give that creamy mouthfeel texture. Very important when they're tasting the food. You can't pick up flavors without oil. That's why Rice Krispies and things like that don't really have much flavor, because there's no fat in it. And as I said before, proper cooking methods and techniques are very important because that's going to have a basis on how that final dish comes out from a color standpoint, from a texture standpoint, and from a taste standpoint. When we look at the Maillard reaction, where we're browning something, that browning is the natural caramelization of the sugars in the food. That caramelization gives us a great amount of flavor. And so we want to make sure we do that if the recipe calls for it. All right, the last thing I really want to talk about in this category is make sure we serve food at the right temperature. And I'm looking at two different things here. One, make sure the food is cooked internally to the right temp. No pink chicken. Pink pork is acceptable. And then if we do some type of a beef, basically base it on the recipe, but serve it at the right temp. Also, you want to make sure that food comes out to the judges and it's nice and piping hot. Nobody likes to eat cold green beans and cold sauce. So one thing to make sure you do is warm your plate. Hot food goes on hot plates. So if the judges are backed up a little bit and maybe there's someone in front of you that's taking a little more time, make sure that you have a hot plate. It will help keep your food. That is, one advantage of doing a stack type of plate is when you put food on top of food, it helps keep that nice and warm. Present your food with confidence. You might be asked questions by the judges, and if you come out and you're not sure and you start to make excuses right when you walk out, maybe something didn't go exactly your way, ignore that. Come out with confidence. Come out knowing that you've spent a lot of time practicing, that you were back there and you put a good plate of food together. Maybe it's not perfect, but a lot of times the judges won't know that unless you tell them. So you come out smiling, you come out happy, be proud of what you put on the plate. Have a good attitude. It goes a long way with the judges when you have a proper attitude. You can explain what you did, what your plate is. We like to see that in these competitions. This is a growing experience, it's a learning experience. And even if things aren't perfect, we want you to take away something good. So have a good attitude, smile, ask questions of the judges. We like that when that happens. I hope this has been a good discussion on the rubrics. Make sure you read those, know exactly what is expected of you at this competition in every step of the way. Be prepared and you'll go a long way. Thank you.